Today I am going to be showing you how to make some epoxy resin jewelry. So you can do it a lot of different ways. I have got some different mica powders and some glitters that I'm going to use to tint my epoxy. This is one of the mica powder sets. These are some canisters from another one. I got it at Michael's. I'm not even sure what type it was, but it's just different mica powders to give it color. The other thing I have is a lot of glitters. I mix a lot of my glitters, so these probably don't look like colors that you would see at the store, but I like some sparkles, so I add that to my jewelry. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix a couple different cups here of the epoxy for the different colors that I'm going to use. Alrighty, so I've got like 3 different things here that I can go ahead and tint to my liking. So I also have, this is a pretty cool, it's a crystal clear glitter. I really like the way that this looks in the jewelry. So I'm gonna go ahead and use some of this one today. So I'm just dumping a little bit in there. You know what, let's just give that to all of them because you can never have too much glitter in life. That's how I feel, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and pick my colors. I like this red, so we're gonna do some red today. And you can see there, it's not a whole lot I'm dumping in there, maybe like half a teaspoon. And then I'm going to do some silver. So I'm just gonna dump a whole bunch of silver glitter in there. You can see. It's got a little bit of gold in it, so we'll throw some of that in there too. So got some silver and gold there. And then put just a little bit of the white mica powder to give it some depth. I'm going to use the other end of the straw there. All right, cool. Go ahead and stir those up. And you can kind of see how it's got like that iridescent glitter to it, which makes it really fun. So I'm happy with that color. I'm just gonna set it to the side. And then I'm gonna flip my straw upside down and I'm gonna go ahead and stir in this silver with that white mica powder. This is a little thicker because it's got so much glitter in it, but it's really cool looking. Let me go ahead and do this blue because that'll look pretty with that silver too. So it's like a teal color. So I'm gonna dump some of that in there. You can use a popsicle stick, whatever. I just didn't want to go outside to get my popsicle sticks and I had some straws, so I'm using that. So I'm gonna go ahead and mix that up. Oh, that's pretty. It gives us a nice, pretty teal with iridescent in it. And now is the fun part. So obviously I've used these molds quite a few times. So you just wanna make sure you pick off anything that may be near or inside the molds from a previous set. I got some red from where I did that before, because otherwise it's going to be present in the new jewelry that you make. My molds I get on Etsy, Amazon. These pink ones are from a place called JL Molds, I believe. I love their molds, they're really cute. So they're kind of my faves, but anyway. So it's time to get started. I'll go ahead and start with the red because we'll start with some Mickey Mouse. And I mean, if Mickey isn't red, I don't know what life is. So this is a spot where it's cool because I'm just gonna kind of drop into it. And one thing I've learned is you want to really make sure you're getting all around that little post hole, because otherwise, if it doesn't fill completely, it won't work for the jewelry. So I always try to concentrate on that at the beginning so that I don't have to worry about it. And I'm just doing this like this because now I'm gonna come back with my silver and fill in around so that I get like a cool swirly pattern. Okay, and then the other thing that I like to do to ensure is just pull back around where that post is to make sure it's all filled in. You want to make sure you're wearing gloves while you're doing this so that you're protected, because some people are super allergic to epoxy and they have bad reactions. I'm not, so I'm lucky that way, but a lot of people are. I'm gonna go ahead and speed this up to do the other ones. Okay, now that I have all my trays filled, the next thing I'm going to do is I set them in my garage to dry. I usually put them in the next morning they are hardened and ready to take out. So now we wait. Okay, so I have got my trays that have been setting. And so what I'm gonna do now is just start popping them out. So I'm gonna start with this one, and then they just lift right out of the silicone. I was wrong the other day when I was telling you where I got these pink molds. I got them at J2N silicone molds. I'll attach that in the notes so you can see. They've got lots of really cool things on there. So, alrighty. So you can see how it like, you know, that's why we did all the fun little swirlies. And then these were just solid ones that I did so you could see the difference. So when I'm doing these, what I do is I use my leftover epoxy when I'm making my cups like this one. When I put the epoxy on for them to set, there's always a little bit left. So I just take whatever I have and then tint it to whatever type of earrings I want to make, and then put it in the molds. So that way I have no extra waste when making my cups. And I really love how it looks. Yeah, those are really pretty, those red and silver ones there. Alright, this is just a big keychain mold, so that's kind of fun. And then over here we've got these. So now that I've got them, the next thing I do, I'm gonna shove them all over to one side, right? And then I take an X-Acto knife, and then this is where I go around to make sure all of my edges are clean. Like, so there I've got like a little bit of pour over. I trim it out, and that one's good to go. The other thing I check is to make sure that that hole went all the way through. These are a pair of pliers that I use for my jewelry making. So you can use like a skewer stick or Chinese chopsticks or whatever to like just make sure that hole goes all the way through. And then I am going to check each piece. Like that one got some of my hair in it. We're gonna get that out. So that one's good. And then see, so that's some of the pour over. So that's all we're doing, is really just getting all that pour over extra that happens. See, that's got a little piece there. So we're just, sometimes you can pinch it off. If it's a little thicker, you'll have to use the knife to get it. Let's see, you can kind of see here on the back of that mouse, there's some on the ears. So again, that's a little more fine work. So I'm gonna take my little X-Acto knife and just get right in here. I just have a flat cutting paper underneath this if you're wondering what I'm cutting onto. Cool, that one's good. So see, you can just see they're just little where it didn't go through all the way, or it spilled over on the tray. So we're just getting those little pieces out so that our lines are clear. Ah, come out, come out. Sometimes those little ones are hard to get into. There we go, I got it. You can see this has a little thicker piece, so I'm just gonna use my X-Acto knife, cut along the side there, and that'll pull that off. And then there's a little piece on the inside that I can just pull out. So that one's ready. This one has like, there we go. And then these are the top. Yeah, you want to make sure it's smooth too, because we're going to turn these into earrings, and you don't want like an unsmooth part to be up on someone's ear. Mouse face is good. So you can see that's got a couple little, most of these, like I said, can be peeled off, but sometimes it spills over a little thicker, and that's where you would need to use the X-Acto knife to get it cleared out. And again, obviously you don't have to make as many, but I don't like to waste, so I use whatever I have left over. That's good. That one's good. Alrighty, you get the picture. And then once we're done, then we'll be ready to turn it into jewelry. First is take our little jump ring and then we are going to open it just by pulling the pliers apart. And then I'm going to get my little star here, slide it through, and then I always do 2 of these just so that they'll hang right. So then I'm going to attach the other one on. I'm going to pinch that to close. And then I do this to where I get it uneven so that I can close it past the other side, because otherwise it could come apart easily and we don't want that. So I overlap it and then I take this top and put it in there. Okay, so then the part that I overlapped, I like to stick it in the whole section. So now I'm gonna open up the next loop that we just attached, and then simply take your hoop or your dangle, drop it there, hold it, and then do the same thing here. Oops. Again, you're going to do it so that it overlaps, and then you're going to marry those together so that when you're done, you've got your little dangle hoop. We're going to do the same thing again. Open that up, put it through the hole in the star, get the extra piece, put it on there. Way more tedious than, it's just hard to get it gripped just right. Perfect. All right, cool. Now we've got it overlapped, we got it gripped. We go to that second hoop, pull it open, open it up, and I like to grip right below so that way I can make sure I can try and keep that top one that I'm putting on straight. Doesn't always work, obviously. You gotta fight with these things a little bit, but so then again, close it that way. My child is making strange noise in the background. Nobody is being tortured. All right, cool. So there you have, there's your dangle stars. Now I'm gonna show you the stud form, which is, open it up here. And it's way easier actually, because you have fewer things to mess with. So you put it in one side, put it in the other, pull those together, and squeeze. All right, cool. So now those are ready. And then we're gonna take our backs here. And I use a stainless steel on everything, nickel free. because I have super bad allergies to nickel. So you want to make sure that what you're using is not gonna make you react with your skin and stuff, because I know lots of people have those issues. So then I just find a piece of paper, and then this is E6000 glue, and then I just put a dollop there. Whoop. And then you're simply gonna take the earring back, put it in the E6000. Sure you got a decent amount. You're gonna flip it over and stick it right in the middle there. And that's it. You're just gonna wait for it to dry. And then it'll be ready to add the back and you're good to go. Okay guys, remember how I said that filling in around the hole was important? Because if it doesn't, it will break through. If you can see here, like this one is gonna be no good because you can just break right through it. So that's why it's super important to make sure that you do those things. But I still got, and these are all wet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pairs of earrings and a keychain out of, and I'm actually gonna make these little drops, so I'll still have 8 pairs of earrings that I made from just that one little set of epoxy. So I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Continue to like and subscribe. See you next time.